So how many people watched our last recording? Yeah, for
The grants.
yeah, the grants. Thank you.
That was really
It's a
good.
good one.
Yep,
That was a really good one. And then Jacques had some really good.
yep. Want to follow up about that.
Yeah.
Slides or anything. Share. Will they see the screen if they show slides?
Can you wanted to share slides, right?
Yes, so I should probably get into the Teams meeting.
Okay.
And then you just stay hooked in
Yep. And then,
and
Oh, that's.
you'll
cool.
just watch like everyone else.
but do I need to do something with the share? Like,
I'll share my screen through the Teams meeting.
okay, but I don't have to give you permission to share.
You shouldn't have to.
Okay, perfect.
I love it.
Yeah, Teams usually.
I do too.
I love it when that happens.
I do too. Great to have Ning and Logan here. Need you at every meeting.
Right.
Thank you. Never see myself on the screen. Oh,
It's fun.
I cannot see.
Keith Baker.
Please.
Should be able to.
That is the best meeting room in Brown Building. Good see.
Yeah.
They used to be, I just noticed the international, the CGE, they tear off all the flags.
They did, didn't they?
Right, they used
Did they?
to, they
Yep.
used to have like all different pieces of flag.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just noticed.
They got rid of all of that. Wonder
Yeah.
why.
Fancy.
They're still located over there, international.
Look at that.
Oh, I don't know, did they move?
Don't know. I don't see their.
I've never done this way before.
That-
There was a button at the top of my PowerPoint that said present in Teams.
Neato.
And now you see that and
Oh,
I see
wow.
this. And
That's really cool.
Oh.
Fancy.
it was fun. It was just, it said present in Teams. And I'm like, I'm going to push this and
That
see
is
what it
so
does.
cool.
That is so cool. Who would like to start first? Logan, do you want to start since you got your?
Sure.
Okay,
You
all right.
can start if you want, Nick.
They come down.
Okay, so full disclosure, I used Copilot to generate this entire deck. Microsoft Copilot is an AI that's available to us. And I just said, make a 20-minute presentation on AI in education for faculty.
Wow.
And we're going to see how well it did.
Have you looked at this yet?
I did. I quickly read through it and went, okay, I don't see many typos, but it does say like right in the top of the slide, it says sample footer text.
Okay.
So I left that. So it does, and my notes say AI generated content may be incorrect. And like, I would not have chosen these colors.
I like it.
I like it too.
So AI integration strategies for faculty. So when we talk about the purpose and context, why we do this, it's here, it's not going away. It does have the ability to enhance your pedagogy. It has the ability to detract from your pedagogy. I am what they call a technological instrumentalist, which means that I see it as just a tool. The other end of the spectrum is called a determinist, which means that I let the tool make the decisions. And I let the tool do the driving. I like to come from the standpoint that I am the human that has agency and will. And I can use this tool the same way I can use any other tool in the classroom. Like the whiteboard is a tool. I can choose to use it. I can choose not to use it. Things that are important, though, are balancing the innovation and learning goals. I really like that it came up with that heading because it is still about your learning goals. And AI may not be the right way to make your learning goals happen. there are policy and ethical guidelines. You cannot just put your students' data up in any AI software. Ning will deal with that later, Ning and Jay, when they talk about their stuff. But yeah, you have to be careful about where sensitive data can go. And then it does vary discipline to discipline. So the way AI is used in the social sciences is very different than the way AI is abhorred in the creative arts.
Right.
So it may not work well. I mean, I used it. I haven't done this fully yet, but Ginny, when I think about journalism and broadcasting, I used it to make a script for an intro video for me as a librarian. And it gave me ideas of what shots I could do and what things I could say. And as someone who hasn't studied any of that, it gave me enough to be like, I could put together a not half bad video for an amateur. I mean, it will never look like you or your students putting it together, but it will at least have more than just one shot straight onto the face now of me.
Right. Adam has a question. Can
It's right up
you
there.
give an example of sensitive
chat.
data?
Yeah, sensitive data is like student names. Anything that is personally identifiable, and anything that would be protected by FERPA. So even like their grades.
Yep.
So like if you wanted to upload their essays, make sure their names aren't on it if you're going to. But the university would say don't even upload them to a non-protected one because we don't know for sure, unless we have a license agreement, we don't know if the data that is uploaded is used to train the model. And so you don't want to necessarily give work away. Just like you probably wouldn't upload a draft of a peer-reviewed article to one of these because you don't want to train the data on it. There. Nope, turn it in as separate. Turn it in, there's a license agreement. It's all dealt with. Okay.
Good question.
Very good questions.
So benefits and rationale, it can enhance instruction efficiency. A lot of the repetitive tasks. I mean, I made this whole amazing looking deck in about 40 seconds.
God.
I did tell it to go look at Centers for Excellence in Teaching and Learning websites. So I gave it a pretty specific prompt when doing this. So like this information I pulled from Stanford. It can help personalize student learning. And later we're going to talk about some ways to do that. The future ready skills development and inclusive and accessible teaching. One of the really nice things about AI is it can help you explain things in different ways. I've seen prompts out there where someone has said, explain this incredibly difficult course concept using Taylor Swift songs, because that's what the students resonated with. And it did it. It explained it in a way, or you can make pop culture connections.
Adam also says that he thinks many people use AI to proof manuscripts.
I think they do sometimes. And so it depends on if they may be inadvertently helping to train the model. But helping to train the model does not necessarily mean that you're going to see that work show up word for word for word. AI doesn't actually create anything. When it creates, it guesses. It uses fancy math to guess what the most likely next piece of the puzzle is. So it really just regurgitates known content. But it's been trained on, depending on the model, trillions of inputs. Okay. So what types of tools are we seeing? We are seeing content creation. So slide decks like this. We're seeing case studies being created. Beth Heavey in nursing used AI to help with case study generation for a textbook she was working on. Adaptive learning platforms. So that can adjust your difficulty. It can recommend resources. It deals with what's called RAG, retrieval augmented generation. which means that it will do a search, get that data, and then add that into a prompt or add that into what it's asking the system for. So when I asked this slide deck to, go out and search for CELT centers at other universities and pull back into this, it's now limiting its scope, right? Because it's looking at those sources and it's informing its choices based on what it read and took in from the internet. Assessment support tools. I'll just skip over that for right now. And multimodal systems. So you are seeing image generation. They're not great right now. They're really not great, but we're at the start of it. And to see how far we've come in like the year and a half that people have really been using AI, it is amazing. It's really good at like cartoony type things. It's not so good at like real human people. If you want a laugh, Google AI gymnast and like search YouTube for AI gymnast, and they like move through themselves like on the Matrix. It's really hilarious. They just defy physics left and right.
Keith gave you feedback about the anthropomorphizing of AI. It doesn't, he's glad you're
Oh yeah,
stepping back from.
yeah. I mean, I do tend to speak nice to AI because, in the event that our technological overlords take over, I want them to think kindly about me. But yeah, it really is just a system. But the systems are getting smarter and smarter. We haven't reached the singularity yet, though.
Yep.
Yeah, Adam says that he can't use Claude or ChatGPT to identify misconceptions by students in my own class, right?
You totally could if you kept their names off of it and you just wanted to so Adam, are you thinking like a student writes something and you're like, where did they get that idea from? That type of identifying misconceptions?
I'll give a 65 question multiple choice test. And, 30% of the students get question 42 wrong. And, what's the misconception? That's hard to understand. There could be, what's the misconception based on which wrong answer they chose, for example, so if it's a well-written question, you can sometimes identify what thing they don't understand. But I think and there might be, a whole bunch of students who don't understand A and a whole bunch of students who don't understand B, and then a whole bunch of students who don't understand both. And by A and B, I mean concepts.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would use AI for that. I mean,
So you could.
If
Yeah,
you use logic when you develop the test, maybe you could.
Yeah, you could ask AI, like, what might be some common misconceptions around this? And what it might do is it might take the ideas and it might go out and take data from like Reddit, where people discussed it, and interpret that and give you some ideas. I'm not going to say it's going to get it perfect, but as long as you kept the students' names out of it and you just went and asked those basic questions in the abstract, so to speak, you totally could do that.
So you would ask AI, you'd make your question very general. So I could just say, what are common misconceptions for a question like this by college students? And then give the question.
Yeah, or you could say, I'm a university professor teaching anatomy and physiology. We just did the bones unit. For some reason, I noticed a lot of them labeling the radius as the ulna. Can you help me understand where they might have found information that led them to that?
Okay.
And then, you're still going to need your brain, right? Because it's going to try, but I wouldn't trust it. And you may have to change your question a few times.
Okay. I never thought of using it like that.
Yeah, really think about it as a grad assistant lackey or an undergrad work study kind of for like the level of task. And you could say, hey, go find this out online for me. So when it comes to course design, a lot of this is a repeat. But you can, so I'm going to skip over the first two because we've talked about those, but you can use it to enhance your interaction. It can give you new and different ways to think about interacting with students. It is really great for the brainstorming piece. Help me think of how I can use a discussion board in a different way to do X. And then make sure you review it just like we tell our students. Okay, here we go. This is where this is where we really get into it. So this is where we get into being honest with your students about what's allowed. And there are different levels. I am working on the AAC and U team that the provost paid for a bunch of us to go through, and we're developing a framework that we'd like to push out. And the framework doesn't dictate which levels of AI are acceptable and not. That's not what it does. What it does is it gives common labels to types of AI use. Because some of the feedback we've gotten is that when students are taking 5 different classes, they have 5 different policies to keep in mind. Every professor gets to do their own thing. And we found a research-backed framework that provides common labels. And so we are working on a Senate proposal. It's going to come through Senate to have them to endorse this framework and to ask faculty to use these labels when they're talking about whatever they want to do. And if we have time, we could talk about that. But this is where I really want to get into, so the examples of assignments. One, a think, pair, share with AI. So you have someone think about it and write up their thoughts. They get paired up with AI, and then they ask AI its thoughts. And then they compare and contrast their response with AI's response. They ask AI to do their assignment, and then they fix the output. They use different AI tools to maybe create a podcast. So Notebook LM will let you dump in a couple different sources and it will create a podcast. And it's actually pretty interesting. The more sources you put in, the longer it gets. And it is a little formulaic. So after you listen to about 3 of them, you're like, oh yeah, that's a AI generated one. And then comparative analysis, where they look at maybe Claude's output, ChatGPT's output, Copilot's output, and they do something with it. I like these types of AI use that require students to be critical of the AI, because it takes away the students' desire to use the assignment to use the AI to do the assignment, because they're already allowed to use it. And it focuses on that critical thinking. And when we first started using AI, I did a lot of talking with a lot of different faculty members, and I did a lot of hard thinking on this. And I realized that my biggest objection with the use of AI, now this is just personal to me in information science, it was not that they were using the tool. It was that they were using the tool blindly. That they were putting it in, getting the output, trusting it, and moving on with their lives. And so I thought, how can I attack that problem? Because that's a very different problem than use AI, don't use AI. And so if I can attack it from, you have to show me your critical thinking, then it becomes much more interesting and exciting. And I actually did a study with 3 education professors where they, instead of having the students analyze printed curriculum from a publisher, they analyzed printed curriculum from AI. And one of the findings we noticed is that students were much more heartless with AI. Like, they did not care if they were hurting feelings when they were critiquing AI's output. Whereas if they were in a class, and I'm going to pick on Jay because she's next to me, I don't want to say anything mean about Jay's assignment because it's Jay and I like Jay.
Right.
So I'm going to write very mild feedback And like, maybe you might want to think about changing this one little part right here. Whereas if it's an AI output, they were literally going like, this sucks. They didn't even try. It doesn't know what a learning objective is. And so that was eye-opening to see how much the current student is controlled, for lack of a better term, by the social contract of politeness.
Yes.
And so one way to get that done was to like take the human out of it and say, here's just AI content. One of the social studies lesson plans, it used standards from the 90s. Now they weren't that different, but they were different. The number was different. And because the students in this class had gone through an official course task where they learned how to evaluate these lesson plans and they learned about the standards, that student knew off the top of her head when she looked at it that this is the wrong standard. This isn't right.
Mhm.
And so that made the student be much more critical of the assignment. And then I always like to talk about ethics and equity, fairness and bias awareness. There is a major issue with these algorithms. They cater to the white man and the white man's lived experience, which is really interesting because not as many, like when you look at the demographic makeup of the people coding the AI, it's not as white heavy, but computer science does seem to have a problem of the dominant narrative of our society being white man and that finding its way in. If you've never looked through or read Algorithms of Oppression, it is an amazing book that talks about how algorithms work. Okay, policies, you need clear policies. You need to be transparent. You need students to be transparent about the use of it. It needs to be ethical. We're starting to see lines show up in our scholarly database contracts that say you cannot add these to AI. We have no idea how that's going to be enforced.
Hey, Logan.
Yeah.
Adam's
Adam
gonna,
has
Oh,
an
yep.
interesting question about evaluating, like students just regurgitating what they learned from AI or even him as an authority in science. And he's asking Marcus what he thinks. But that's a good thing too, because in science, there's less room for.
Yeah, so what I would do something like that, Adam, is I would not only tell them to critique it, but I would tell them to, as the kids say these days, come with receipts. Like, come with those citations. Tell me where you found the proof that this AI is right or wrong. Because in empirical studies like science, like with zebrafish, you have done many studies that you have definitive outcomes on. And so if the AI says something different than your research, they need to know that I have to go there and find that. So one of the things that we are doing, one of the things that we put into the DMP program here when I was working with them is we added an assignment where they have to react to a health influencer. And they can use AI to help them to help learn what their patients may have learned about this topic. So like alkaline water, say, it comes out, it's sold all over, there's all these people hyping it. At the end of the day, yes, there may be some small benefits to it, but it's just mostly because of water, people drinking more water. And it's so getting practitioners to not just shut down the fact that people are using AI to find answers, but to understand how their patients are using AI and then be able to combat those narratives in kind ways.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Developing literacy, it looks like these are, we talked about a lot of that. We need lots of like community of practice type stuff. We need structures around this for support. We have some. We are working on, so the AAC and U group is going to be coming out with like an AI council, and the provost and Steve Cook, the CIO, are going to be getting like a council together to deal with a lot of this. I have 2 more slides.
Wow.
We will need to constantly keep our eyes on this, right? To know what's going on. And then the actual steps are not to go from 0 to 100 overnight, right? Think about one small place you can put AI in your course if you want, or one small place you can open the discussion around AI use. And so like I see Morag here with like history. It could be really interesting to ask what the reaction to a book that came out is, and have it scour for book reviews around that, or have it figure out the public perception of nurses in the 1700s, and then have your students actually go find those primary sources to combat or enforce the narratives that exist. Right, so that's the end of my deck. Again, this was fully created with AI. I did 0 editing of it, and I think it did a really decent job.
It really did. Are you gonna leave these up on the teams?
Yeah, I can put this on the team. It's not on the team, but I can move it over to the team. And the notes all have like, here's where I got it from, and most of it was from Stanford.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for joining us.
We do not need you anymore. Okay, Adam, we'll see how well you do. You're on your own. Next time you call with a question, you know what my first answer is going to be.
AI.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no. Stop sharing. Oh, it moved the share button too when I did that present in Teams. It moved it way over to the left.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much. I guess Ning, and does anybody have any questions? They've been asking some good questions along the way.
Yeah. And I'm always open to talk. If you ever just want to grab a coffee or lunch and talk about your specific context, this is information science. I see AI as information science and information literacy. And so in the library, we know this is here. We know it's our job to help navigate it, not necessarily fully support it, but at least navigate it. And we're here for you.
Okay,
Does the
thank you so
library
much.
offer like formal services for faculty and students to get help, Logan?
If they request like a research consultation, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just
okay.
like we would help you if you're doing a study and you want
Right.
just to make sure that your lit review is exhaustive, you can meet with your librarian.
Right.
Some of us we all do that kind of stuff. There's a smaller group of us that do AI, but yeah, just email Ask Drake at Brockport or reach out to me and we'll get you set.
Marcus has a question.
Yes, I just want to, not even a question, it's actually more of a comment. Most think of ChatGPT as like the place to go to, but there's lots of different AI services available. For example, I came across one that's called Perplexity. That one
Yes.
has immediately it has all the citations with there, so we can see where it grabbed it from.
Yeah,
Just
I
wanna point
did
that
read
sort of thing out.
I read a study that when given a bunch of documents, the only one that didn't hallucinate was Claude. The others all hallucinated. And then another paper that I read recently was about energy use. And because that's one of the big things that comes out is the energy use and the data centers and da.
Oh, yeah.
Streaming media uses way more data and data centers than text-based AI prompting.
Well, that's why I was really baffled when everybody was going up in arms and I'm like, but text is really not that.
It's not that heavy.
Yeah.
The biggest issue is that our electrical grid hasn't been updated as a country in 40 years. So that's really the issue that's
Really
happening.
issue.
Morag says.
Did you
that
say
Claude is-
hallucinating?
Yeah.
What do you
Claude was
mean
the
by
one
that?
didn't
I don't follow.
hallucinate.
He doesn't-
Marcus says he doesn't
He
follow.
wants to know what you mean by.
Oh, so hallucinating is it lies. It makes stuff up.
Oh, okay.
Exist.
Yeah, it'll create something that looks like a good reference because it has the right words in the right order for a good article title, but that article itself doesn't actually exist. If you try to find it, you end up in the middle of another article that has nothing to do with what you
Oh my
were
goodness.
hoping to read about.
Wow,
I actually
crazy.
had Lee Little sent me something he was reviewing, and three of the references were fictitious.
Oh, wow. Morag says that Claude is now no longer free.
Oh.
You have to pay to get anything good.
Yeah, so I will say I subscribe to you.com, you.com. There's an education license and it's $10 a month and it gives you access to all of the models.
Wow.
But she says there's something called
Anthropic is the company that makes Claude.
Oh, okay.
Logan, I was just struck by the word you said, hallucination and lies. Have you read, I can't remember the author, have you read On Bullshit?
No.
The book. There's a book called On Bullshit.
Yep.
And
Okay.
the AI is a bullshit engine.
Yes.
Because to describe it as a liar, it can't lie. It doesn't have any conception of what truth actually is. So it's best understood as in my opinion, as a bullshit generator. And that's why I don't like this language of hallucination, lies, etc. Because, it's not capable of that. It assumes that it's true in the first place, that it knows what truth is. It doesn't. It's just math.
Yeah, I just put into the chat, I teach a class for an outside organization, and one of my students developed this fully AI generated. So don't try to read the slides too hard because there's lots of typos. But the narrative and the way it talks about AI is really good.
But I think Keith's right to pull back as much as we can from that anthropomorphizing, because I get caught up in that thought of, oh yeah, I can lie. And then you start to think iRobot and
Yes.
you know what I mean? It gets a little bit onerous. I think it's good to put ourselves in check when we talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ning and Jay, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Should I start it?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
please do. Thank you for
Yeah.
being here and helping us.
Thank you. Thank you first, invite me. I'm not a full professor yet, so invite me here, to share some experience.
We hope you'll join us soon.
Give it time.
All right, so that is all right. That is something the presentation we had, both Jay and I had not last month, in the January in Niagara University. So since the topic of this meeting, this forum, that is about AI, right? How the AI teach AI in classroom, right? So I remember this kind of theme, for this program. So I think that is the answer I have, after 2 years exploration, right? So I open the camera. Yeah, okay, that's me there. All right, good. All right, so, all right. See how to bridge it. Okay. So there is a lot of challenges to higher education in the AI era, right? So the 3 points actually that is come from the this kind of generated points come from my experience, our team's experience in the past 2 years, more than 2 years. So right now, that especially is for computer science people, students. So when the AI come, that is students' preparedness in their career, that is big challenge to them. And also for our curriculum, that is a lot of challenge to that, especially it's now, last year, actually, is Dr. Sandeep Mitra and me, discuss what kind of impact, big impact that the AI will bring to us. Actually, this kind of discussion started, right after the AI ChatGPT brought to the world, right? So we think, we at that time we already realized that could be a big impact to the society, especially for education, for the education. So at that time, as computer scientists, we feel even for the course, the way to teach student, that will be a big change. And later on we would talk more about that. It's when we do this kind of experiential learning projects. So, and also that is challenge for our faculty's expertise and capability actually. What I mean is, that is about especially for computer science, a lot of tools, this kind of AI technology evolved so fast. I just graduated from where my PhD degree that's last 10 years ago, just 10 years ago. So it looks like at that time, what I do is about deep learning. So that is fundamental knowledge for AI. And later on, I graduated 2016. So, and then I go to the academia. I was in the University of South Carolina, upstate. I was there for 1 year. Then I come to Brockport. So, ChatGPT, takes place actually just in the pandemic. This kind of things developed during the pandemic. When the people is, there is a locked in somewhere, people are working on some AI stuff there maybe. And then that is around 2022 and 2023, ChatGPT was born. So you can see from the deep learning to the ChatGPT board, it takes around 10 years. 10 years. Deep learning actually, that is around the first term was there. This around in the about 2010 around this kind of time. You can see more than 10 years. This kind of accumulation of technology, and then get some breakthrough. ChatGPT come, large language model. Before ChatGPT, there was some natural language models. For example, in Google, that is BERT or something. At that time, natural language processing was very popular. And then based on their development, many of this kind of project was open source. So that is why this kind of knowledge are evolving so fast, because this kind of knowledge base, this is open. So that is new knowledge just based on what they're developing. All right. So this kind of thing that is so fast. And for our faculty member, 10 years ago, knowledge I have the deep learning, but now that is looks like all this kind of data is not outdated, but still there's some new stuff, new knowledge we need to gain. And then we try to find this kind of how to handle this kind of gap. That is some different attitudes here. I just show there, right? Ignore, all right, and redirect to someone else, and recognize it, and then shift even take some initiative to address this kind of issue. So for us, actually, the 3 years ago, when I discussed with Dr. Misha. At that time, he encouraged me to have some student chapter, ACM student chapter. Actually, ACM, that is Association of Computing Machinery. That is one of prestigious, famous, this kind of professional organization worldwide. So it is come with IEEE. So that is both are very important for computer science areas, professional in this kind of membership. So what we do actually, we just take a very active procedure. Initiative to handle this. We found experiential learning. That maybe that is good. At that time, we didn't find this kind of word experiential learning. At the time, we just think we need to find the people to work on something new to handle this kind of new technology. So 3 years ago, I tried, it's not 3 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, we tried this kind of independent study with students. I asked students to do a project about ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to build, AI tutor can automatically recognize, human's voice and, images on something. And that is a prototype for our current project, So we trying to get this kind of experiential learning. And then, definitely, and experiential learning is very good thing. It's a very good thing. So here it shows this kind of circle. I believe everybody is familiar with. And here, this one is shows this kind of, the track we have take, right? We have, we established ACM 2024 in the April 2024, nearly 2 years, almost. Yeah, that is 2 years actually, and supported by the faculty members here. Actually, Jie and Adam was, all the part of this faculty mentor team, and also Dr. Sandim Mitra and Dr. Smith, Rebecca, and more and more, there is more people. And now there is more people join us to supervise ACM student chapter. And this kind of chapter that is run by students, and our faculty member provide the directions, including the research directions and, what kind of things you can do, right? And get support from our department, and particularly for, CELT, right? That is a lot of support from them. And also we have the industrial, this supporter from alumni support. So we have a meeting weekly, every Friday. This semester that is 10:30 to 11:30. So if anyone, are interested, actually that is, we usually have more than 10 people there. So if people, anyone in this group are interested to see what's going on, to see the dynamic in this student chapter and how our group develops the software, how we discuss all this kind of stuff. So that is on the Friday, that is 10:30 a.m. to 11:30. Welcome to see, and maybe you could discuss some interesting directions.
Where is it?
Oh, that is in the Brown Student Lounge. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Brown?
Brown Student Lounge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that one, that is this one, and trying to solve some problem. And right now we have some progress already made. Including the main projects that is EduAli. As I mentioned, 3 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, we started from the independent study, and then it becomes a collective projects. It's developed into EduAli first version and applied to JS class first. And then in last semester and last year, actually, we developed EduAli main program. And then based on the EduAli version 1, we developed AI pilot program. That one that is mostly applied to our faculty members class. And also we developed accessibility tools. So that is inspired last semester when we discussed with our group discussions, right? We actually is with Dr. Adam, right? So we think that could be a good direction, and Jie, we group meeting. So we think that could be a good direction for this kind of AI project, that is accessibility tools. Try to help, the faculty member and the student to pass their accessibility score in the in bright space. So idea is pretty simple. And also we do some research, that is a research project together, faculty and the students all together. And we do have some, achievement, last year, including this kind of things, CCSCNE first place and Brockport Scholar Day. And I appreciate, our faculty members support, right? And attend this kind of conference actually. And also there is some media recognition. We were recognized by the Rochester Business Journal and also Research 330 by 360 by SUNY, a research office, right? And also they recognize by other medias. And this kind of project has been implemented in
I can.
that is in a jazz class particularly, all right? So maybe
Yeah, I can take it.
so the rest part Jia can talk a little bit more about the deployment in her class.
Sure, thank you, Ning.
Yeah.
So almost 3 years ago, I came to Ning's class, Ning's office after one of my COIL collaborative online international learning class. At that time, my partner professors and I decided we want to focus that semester's project on AI because AI is coming 3 years ago, just emerging. And we checked, kind of casually checked with our students about their use of AI in education. And a lot of our international partner students said, yes, I'm using AI like to assist me for my study, etc. And when it comes to my students, a lot of them say, no, I don't use it. And but I I know
Well, Logan just mouthed that they were liars.
I just mouthed the word, yeah, liar.
I doubt. So I asked them what's the rationale, and they say because most of my professors forbid us to use it strictly. So I just avoid using it. But in the meanwhile, I know in K-12 schools at that time, schools started to purchase even software like AI apps for teachers to use. So it will be a gap between my student or teacher candidates. And when they see the reality, go to an AI powered school districts, then there will be a culture shock for them. That's how I went, but I'm not an expert in computing science, computer science or AI. So, and at that time, I don't even use AI. Like I heard like one of my colleagues suggested use the writing assistant. I forgot the name. Grammarly, yes. But at that time, I didn't even use those. So I'm very like naive to the use of AI or even AI. That's how I came to Ning to ask for his help, which developed into like lasting research and teaching projects since then. So that was the background information. And my original goal was to just better prepare my teacher candidates for the workforce. And then, if you don't mind to
The next one, right?
move forward. And then it comes to our project. Well, at that time, our university didn't have an like an official AI policy or guidance, except for thanks to Logan and the team that you have developed some like different policies. We can adopt it into our syllabi, and also like faculty has the autonomy to choose how to use it, like ranging from 100% prohibition to use with some restrictions to encouraging with reflections. And I wanted to provide some access for my students to use AI so they won't feel so lost when they go to schools, when they have the opportunity to use AI. So because of that, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry.
And also we have the like a conceptual framework, which is a technological pedagogical content knowledge framework, which was, I think, initially was created in 2008. So it has been a while, but it fits very well, especially to my area of education. I think it probably apply to a lot of your teaching as well, because we don't want to isolate any of these three pillars, kind of like a technology, pedagogy, and content. Of course, content is the foundation, but how do we deliver these content, especially nowadays using technology as a platform to make the content much more easily for students to access? And also, how do we assess our students' learning? So that's a framework we adopted when we would like designing our research.
Keith says that he's worried that AI is bureaucratic technology and becomes a institutional mandate. The presumption is that it will be used, so we teach it. This prevents it becoming a normal technology.
That's a great question. I think Logan can answer the policy part.
So Senate will do everything in its power to make sure that it is not a mandate. But we do have to realize that at least now, while we're in what I've seen called the AI bubble, that employers are asking for these skills. And so if our students have no awareness of what it is, it could disadvantage them depending on their career choice. So that's where the pressure is coming from, is employers right now see this as a magic bullet that's going to make everything so much more productive. The studies are now coming out that that's not necessarily the case, but our people need to know what it is.
I think it's going to settle down.
I think so too.
We're in the new technology, so everyone's talking about it. And eventually what it's going to do is just be a tool like anything else, like the laptop is a tool, the pencil is a tool, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're kind of.
That's what I meant about it becoming a normal technology, we treat it as special and it buys into the AI hype, and we're running around like headless chickens and preventing it being normalized. I'm sorry, I know you're
but we also did this
presentation.
when the calculator came out, Keith.
We did.
I'm
So
actually old enough to remember when scientific
Do you remember the
calculators
calculator?
were first coming out and banned
We did
in
this when
classrooms.
chalkboards came out.
Yeah, but do you remember when the calculator was on
the watch?
And I remember having to take a calculus exam, and we had to take our watches off. We had to put our calculators away. I'm that old.
Just a question about the bureaucratic part of it. Does AI come with disclaimers?
In size 2 font.
Okay, so it's all fine print.
Yeah, and just like you have to check a box before you can use it. When's the last time you read the entire thing? You've checked that box too.
All right, downloading apps and stuff. I mean, it's very.
Nobody reads it.
Right. I just wondered, they cover themselves, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
Buyer beware.
yeah, so I agree with all of you said. I think AI is just a tool for me to help my students get used to have an experience. But my whole course, we have our own content, and I don't let AI dominate the content. I think the content foundation is still essential to our teaching.
See, I use AI all the time, but I'm profoundly dyslexic, so writing is very challenging for me. So I do all my research, I write everything, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, my brain, and I'll be like, can you just make, I'm sending this email to a colleague, or I'm sending this to the chair. Can you, make this sound better? And it'll come up, and I'd say a good percentage of the time it comes out well. Other times I'm like, oh, I wouldn't say it that way. But then I'm like, okay, I see where you're going with this, and this is how I would reframe it. And so I rewrite, but
Yeah.
it helps me instead of like, Anne, can you read this? And
Yeah.
it speeds up my time because I don't, I don't
Because
have,
Anne's not awake at 2 a.m. when you write an email. No.
or she might be in class,
Right.
you know what I mean?
It is
And
helpful in many ways like that.
And I think that's where we're headed as a society, as tools like that are going to become commonplace, especially for writing in fields that are not writing intensive. So like you've already noticed that nurses, when they chart, or doctors when they chart, anyone been to the doctor's office recently where they walk in and the first thing they ask is, I have this app, do you mind if I record our conversation?
yeah, I've had that.
It writes their soap note.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep, which speeds it up. But honestly, before all of this came out, I would have to like contact somebody. I'd have to find out when their time is free for them to read it, make the corrections, and then I'd have to rewrite it anyways. It would take me like maybe four days,
Yeah.
to a week, where this I can do it within seconds.
Yeah.
But again, I've been through English class. I know the proper way of writing.
Right.
I just have trouble with it, and AI helps me.
Right.
So in that case, the AI actually makes the life like more accessible and more inclusive. But the foundation is, Jenny, you know what you want to say, and you can critique what AI has written, or has edited, and then you can say, yes, I want to keep this part, or no, I don't want to. I think that's the critical thinking part that Logan and the colleagues have been doing the research related.
Yeah, because one time I wanted to write something to students who were kind of blowing off my classes, and I just wrote, my thoughts, and it came back. I'm like, oh, this sounds very harsh. Can we soften? Can we soften this? I don't want to alienate anyone.
There's a fun tool out there called Goblin Tools.
Yeah.
That has what's called the formalizer in it. And it also has something called the judge. The formalizer is where you can just brain dump that nasty email you want to write and then tell it, make this sound more professional. And the judge can be, you can put somebody else's email into it and it will analyze it and let you know if you are thinking, if it's just you reading this way, or have they used words that typically indicate a specific type of tone.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. Usually AI gives me a nice tone, but this time it was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, and I'm like,
You
oh, hey,
grateful little.
co-pilot, what have you done?
Yeah, so Ning, if you don't mind,
All right.
just to
That's one, right?
advance, yeah. So out of my 13 modules, actually 14 modules, I only choose 2 of them to let the students have a little bit experience of using AI as a tutor to support their learning. So what we have done is Ning's introduced Ning's students under his mentorship, developed this Agile Ally application and get it ready. And I provided my teaching materials on these 2 chapters to Ning's students. And they promised me they keep the answer key, etc., confidential. And then my students will have the first submission to the homework, and with 7 to 10 questions, short essay or long essay questions. And then AI will provide them feedback. But the beauty of this is AI doesn't give them the the direct answers. Instead, AI will say, you did this very well, and please elaborate further on this topic. And you can go back to slide number, whatever, or page number, whatever, the PDF file, and study more and come back to elaborate further. So the beauty of this is AI does not give answers directly. Like if the students Google, or if the students go to ask ChatGPT, probably they will have a answer, which may not be related to my material or may not, I don't know. But this one is targeted to my materials, and also it's individualized, and also the students get immediate feedback instead of waiting for, I try to provide them feedback like within 1 week, but usually it turned out like I spend my weekend
Right,
like providing feedback to make my promise to the students.
right.
But now if the students like do it, like make the submission during the midnight after their work, and then they can still see and review the feedback AI provided. And it's not the answer. So the students still need to study. And after that, they do the second submission, and also they do a self-evaluation and reflection. So this is all part of it. I don't want to just like isolate the content learning. I want them to also reflect on their learning, and also as a future teacher, the evaluation and the self-evaluation is important to them. So I integrate all these. And another beauty of Ning's students' Agile ally development is it can be tailored to your individual course or your individual teaching style, because Adam has left. But Adam's, if you go to see Adam's course modules, it will be very different from my coursework modules, because we are in different subject area, and probably we have different like teaching styles, etc. So after that, I do not just let AI give the students grade and that's it. I will go back to review both submissions from my students and also their self-evaluation and reflection. And then I enter the final grade on Brightspace. Still, this is doable like within 1 week time schedule as the previous. So it doesn't prolong the timeline for the students to get through the final grade for this assignment. However, the quality of the students' performance increased statistically significant. So if you don't mind to proceed. Yeah, so this is our first year's data. We didn't have time to analyze the last semester's data yet, which will be fun to analyze, which will probably be our summer's project. So from this mean score, you can see the students' self-eval is the highest one, but then followed with the my final grade, because I considered everything, and followed by their my grade to their attempt 2. So they did have performance improvement compared where we compare attempt 1 and attempt 2. And also we run the statistical analysis, if you don't mind to. You can see here, so when comparing my grade in attempt 1 to AI's grade, there's statistically significant. And we found out later it's not AI's fault actually, because AI was grading the students based on whatever answer key I gave them. And there was one question I asked a little bit vague, and the answer key I gave to AI was a little bit like more broader. And then the round 2, we changed, we adjusted, make the adjustment to make the AI's feedback more accurate or more specific. And also the teacher grade attempt 2 is much higher than attempt 1, which means the students did make improvement, statistically significant improvement. And also the teacher grade attempt 2 is higher than the AI grade attempt 1, which also, the only thing we didn't find a statistically significance is the teacher final grade and the student self-eval. As you see, the student self-eval them pretty well, but this is at the end of the project, like at the end of the module, when they consider both attempts and also their effort, everything. And so it's pretty consistent with my final grade. And here we also did a correlation, thinking because my courses are swing. I have undergrad and grad students, so most of my grad students are like a full-time teachers who are pursuing the second students with disability certificate. So their performances you see here are pretty significant, statistically significant, higher than the undergrad students who are pre-service teachers who are still in the process of learning. And we also get some students qualitative feedback, and the majority of them loved this experience. They like the balance and constructiveness of the feedback. The AI has been very kind and professional and encouraging to them. Also give them some feedback about what they can improve. And also they like the clarity and specificity of the feedback because it's very targeted to individualized submission, as well as they can give, like the AI gave them, where they can get more information related to the topic to make improvement. And it's encouraging. And majority of students perceived AI very helpful, and they feel it has a positive impact on their learning experience and the growth. And also, we also have some students, some not many, like a few students don't like it at all because this is very new to them and they don't like it. And also some like said they had a mixed feeling about that. Yeah. And for the like a negative feedback, which is also important for us to know, so that we made some improvement after the first round of trial pilot. They have some concerns about the clarity and the specificity. Some of the students don't like elaborate further or something like that. And some students experience the technical challenges and also the user experience issues, especially I think the version 1 was a little bit slow, but then Ning's students has been working on that and made the speed faster. And also the students gave us some suggestions about making the feedback accessible for future reference, which means they really value the AI's feedback throughout this process. So with that, I can turn this to Ning.
Yeah. So here, that is after 2 years development and collective, development on the software. So now we are thinking, to have, the direction. We could have some organization, maybe independent from, to independently operate and run and maintain the software. Maybe it's all this kind of thing that is some plan, could be possible. We are working on that to see that possible or not. And for us, we're trying to optimize the software further and make this kind of software be a AI educational pilot platform. So that is for the faculty member can use it, to do your AI pilot experiment, in your class or in your instructions and so forth for this kind of things. And also this software we consider can be further to be developed as a professional training product. For example, for a certificate for some particular HR training and so forth. That could be
That's fantastic.
that could be possible way, and just based on the mainstream we have developed so far. Yeah. And and definitely here that is some challenges, and I summarized at that time actually. That is a lot of things actually. So when we do this kind of experimental learning project, we found our curriculum need to change because our student, even for the student developer, not prepared for their career. Some tools, contemporary tools, they don't know. For the AI tools, they need to learn. And even for the faculty member ourselves, we need to catch up with this kind of new stuff. Otherwise, we'll be, far away from this kind of trend.
Yep.
So, and also this kind of things could be, experiential learning. Somehow that is hope a student could be, as I said, that one is about curriculum revision. So that I hope the students' effort on this project could be recognized not only as independent study, but maybe that's something, for computer science, we really need to change this kind of things, especially adding more hands-on stuff, adding more project-based, this kind, even some synthesis, right? Or some co-op or something that could be possible. So, but through this kind of project, we found a lot of things in our curriculum need to change. And for faculty member ourselves, we need to, for myself, for example, me and Jie and all the group, we spend a lot of time, and Dr. Mitra actually also, in Sanjin Mitra, spend a lot of time. But all these kind of things not recognized yet. There is no this kind of workload, to not be recognized. So I hope, this kind of our school or institutional in this kind of level could find a way, because we found the problem. We spend a lot of time. And this semester I have 10 students independent study. 10,
Wow.
10, more than 10, actually more than 10, at least 10. There are some people come with me, just go with me and talk, but they didn't take independent study. So 10 independent study.
Yeah.
So
That is a class.
yeah, that is class.
The capstone.
But that one that is not recognized. So I showed me is very busy every day, and work with students, but I just maybe I'm stubborn. I feel why I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And then recognize it.
Yeah.
Okay, that is something. It's a lot of people when we.
But that's a good thing, Ning,
It's a
because
good
that means
problem to
there's so
have.
many people interested
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
talk
in
about
doing
hot
this, and that
topic.
might
Yeah,
be,
that is from
this could develop into something else. Because
something else. That's right.
some of my classes got developed that way.
Yeah.
Because we were experimenting to see if there was an interest. And so
Right.
I did them as an independent study. And I got the same thing, like
Okay,
15 people
yeah.
doing this.
Right, yeah.
And then we ended up turning it into a class.
Mm.
So
Good.
what I would do is probably talk about
Topic score.
the special topics.
And then after a couple years, it can be an actual new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so that's how I would go with
That's
it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, special topic or something.
Yep. And then you keep running it that way, but if you show the numbers, which you would have,
Yeah, that's
that can
right.
be a
Yeah.
class.
Yeah,
With that many students, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
There is a lot, and each
Special
student,
topic development.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah,
and each people has a different development. There are different area, need to work on, because that is collective, not, just one people, everybody do the same. No, there is someone is focus on database, someone on
Yeah.
infrastructure, someone that is on the software and so forth.
but that's fantastic. You got that many people interested. That's huge.
AI projects.
Yeah, I have a slight question. Don't want to totally interrupt, but what about intellectual property for this Edu Ally? Like, it's yours, you created it, right?
Yeah.
So can you patent that? Can you get
Good point, yeah.
Yeah.
credit for that before it's stolen?
Yeah,
Good point, yeah.
you
No,
probably.
This will be the Ning Yu and Zhang conference.
Right.
Sponsored by Anti-Ally.
But the intellectual property piece,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Good point,
protection.
good point. Yes, now we are thinking and working on that, still on the process, to see how it goes. As I said, maybe there's some company or organization to run it.
Or at least protect legally, like with a trademark or something, like you might want to talk to
Yeah.
legal.
Yeah, it would start with Laura Merkel.
Yeah, you might want to talk to Laura Merkel.
Yeah, that is all things that could be possible, but through this kind of project, experiential learning projects, it looks like we explore a lot about that one, not only for development, but also is related, curriculum and faculty, and even for the some surveys, considering how to make a connection, use this one to connect with, our community, right? Brockport community, that could be a lot,
Right.
So,
And seeing the K through 12 connection is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yesterday,
Awesome.
yesterday we just had two Brockport high school teachers came to talk about their their movement about AI. They are developing one credit course on AI and employability. So that's aligned with ours. Like
that's right,
to,
that's right.
yeah, develop students for career readiness.
Right.
So now we're thinking about the sustainability of this kind of model. That is very important. When we develop it, at some point, we definitely need to consider how to make this kind of thing, either be a model or make it sustainable, right? So from the side of the school or our faculty member or the program, how to make it sustainable so that students come, they have the place to do some hands-on stuff, do some projects related, especially about our computer science, applied science. That is applied science more and more. So we need to do something so that students could be prepared. So that is something, so we found this kind of value, students like it very well. So, yeah, that is good. And there's something at that time I summarize it, but basically that is something I already mentioned, right? And including something about infrastructure.
So do you have access to the UB Empire AI?
Empire AI, I tried to attend, but I didn't get any reply.
Okay,
Yeah.
because so when that came out, it's from University Faculty Senate. I emailed Provost Rahm, the big provost,
Okay.
and said, what about us, basically? What about all of those of us that aren't at the R1s? And there is now a program, so there's someone at UB who can help facilitate access to the Empire AI computing.
Oh, I contacted with them a year ago.
Yeah, this is new. This
Oh.
is new, like this semester. And I kept meaning to reach out to you.
That's good, that's good.
But yeah, because what that is that is a walled garden it's a supercomputer where you can develop on infrastructure that can train your model with the really advanced GPUs.
Good.
Right.
Who is the contact person?
I'm not sure. I will figure that out.
We really need that one, so in our group. So because we found the limitation for our IT, right? So that is through this project, we have a lot of things. Logistic, we have invited some people come and turned out within the SUNY system to reimburse the honorary is very hard. Last year, take 10 months to go through the process, logistic, just trying to transfer the, honorary here to the UB, right? Take 10 months. And now that is good. Now that is this kind of channel already established, very good.
Right.
So, and then we connect with Binghamton, another flagship, there. So now we are trying to get another one, go through logistic part. So and the IT part, we connect with BIS, try to find, if there any infrastructure we can use. Turns out not. They trying to help, but it turns out this kind of support security, especially security. security, you know, they worried if a student develop something, how about the security? Actually, they're concerned that is real, that is good. But actually, we need some flexibility for students. Otherwise, if everything that is restricted, for example, if others, you know, this kind of access cannot access students' development within the campus, could be a problem. So it's about the computer, you know, networking or something.
Right.
So they have some security restriction.
Oh.
But what we found, eventually we found, take another 10 months to fund cloud computing get reimbursed. So now we already have the cloud computing. So we purchased the external from Google Cloud and reimbursements now that is smooth. But you know what? It takes 10 months to go through this kind of reimbursement.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
with that, actually, like no students identifiable information is on Agile iLife because we
No.
don't use, like even when my
don't,
students
yeah.
logged in and Adam's students logged in, they don't use their student's name or email address or something. They are given a specific link to my module or Adam's module with a specific access code. Only the like students in our classes can
Mhm.
access. And then when they enter their information, the way how I can know like who made the submission is they enter the last 4 digits of their banner ID. So like nobody else
Right.
knows about that. And
Right,
so we take the confidentiality very serious.
that's good.
Yeah, all these kind of details, you know, because our applied science, so we care the details when students develop this software, right? So they need to overcome every details, including some concern about security, data privacy issue, authentication issue, and the technology issue, cloud issue or something, every details, you know, so our students take charge of and take care. So,
Okay.
so through this one, we learn a lot.
Experiential learning,
Yeah,
Learning
for
from-
sure.
not necessarily a lot of fun.
For sure.
That's right, yeah.
Awesome. This is fantastic.
Wow.
Thank you, Ning and Jay. You guys have done such a, and Logan.
All I did was throw a prompt into AI, but I made it feel good.
But you
Gave me ideas about.
Yeah.
future up-
No, I've been doing it for a while. I outsourced the grunt work, right?
It's different about you doing it because you already know about the
Yes.
AI. If I did that, I would be like,
I wouldn't.
Ooh, can we do that? Can that be a game?
yeah.
Yeah.
We ask AI to make presentations on topics that we know, and then we change them with other people.
Yeah,
And
we
you have to get up and present somebody else's PowerPoint.
could try. I would not probably do
We'll
well.
do it at the tap room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The more we drink, the more fun this could get. Oh, awesome. We've lost a few people. I know
Maybe
some people are
question.
going to, unfortunately, you guys got IPSA at 3. So and I know a lot of people that were leaving
Where
were
is
going.
that?
214D, just.
In Brown? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
here.
excellent.
Keith and James, do you have any questions at all?
Hope I asked everything I wanted to ask when it came
Excellent.
up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was great.
That
Everybody,
was-
thank you so much. My mind is spinning.
I know. And you know what, Jay, after
But in a
one of
good
the AI meetings, I went with you and Ning, and you told me that this semester I kind of played around with that. Like, I spent all this time, like when students, because we're doing like historical documentaries, and they don't, I know the information is wrong, and I spend all this time researching. Now I'm like AI.
Mhm.
And then, you know, I'm asking AI and it's speeding up my process. You know what I mean? Some of it I'm like, I don't know. And then I'll have to look it up. But most of the time it does a pretty good job.
I wonder if we could do like a homework assignment and
Yeah.
anybody who's here or remote could try to do something that Logan mentioned or that Ning and Jay mentioned and bring it back and maybe meet again like next semester and maybe troubleshoot like this went well. this
Yeah.
really improve because I want to try. I've already tried to use it in assignments, but like I don't know if it's working. I need to
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think it's a great idea. I think
I would like to
that,
try more what they're talking
So,
about.
yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking I just post pilot, yeah, pilot to the Brockport. I'm put this one to the, so you guys maybe can play with that one. You know,
Okay.
register as a
Cool.
instructor.
This chat is saved, right?
Brockport.ci.org. Yes, that one that is.
but I'll open the link just in case.
Okay.
And I'll send
Yeah,
it.
it is there, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So you can sign up.
Okay.
And another is about accessibility. So HTTP, I'm not sure that if you guys know or not. So access dot.
I want to make sure everybody can.
AI.org. Access
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
speed. Here, this one. So
Put another one.
that is another one that is accessibility tools.
All right, cool.
And
Oh, thank you.
are you aware that Kim Scalzo is doing something with Amazon for PDF remediation? For accessibility? Okay,
That's so wrong.
they're doing something with Amazon's tools
Ah,
to like help people remediate their PDFs.
Gotcha.
ah.
So I sent you that
Thank you.
email
And then I'm sending you
and I can,
my
Like I said,
very brief notes.
to,
Ah.
those.
But there was $300,000 put
I think
aside
that'd be a great
to
idea.
help
We had attendance.
community colleges and state operated campuses
Think about.
access Empire AI that were not the big four research centers.
That's what I was trying to play
Maybe
with.
it's.
Yeah.
Good, no? Yeah, can use it. No, that's good.
Because
I thought it's good.
money.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's to be divided up among a bunch of projects, but there's a general contact email. And if you don't hear anything back, you let me know and I'll email Provost Ram again and be like, so I have a faculty member who really wants to do this.
Mhm.
But for whatever reason, the information isn't trickling down the way it should. Because I thought they said someone here was doing something with it and I assumed that was you. But if you have not heard of it, then
Yeah, okay.
That's good.
we got to get
good.
that fixed.
That's good.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you guys so
Something
much.
comes out of me going to all these meetings.
No.
Hey, Logan.
Oh,